Vaginas are absolute magic, and Ollie is here to give them the respect they deserve. That means shame-free supplements made with clinically studied ingredients to keep your pH in check and your pleasure a priority. Put yourself on top. Go to Ollie.com today. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, sorry if it sounds like I'm kind of stuffy, a little stuffy, but I'm fine. I could do podcast episodes and videos all day if I needed to, but anyways, even though I didn't, like I was hanging out with family, so I was hanging out with family and taking naps. So there's just gonna be some days where I just need to rest, but anyways, but yeah, there's gonna be a couple of things I'm gonna be talking about. So, emotional, for people that are a fan of these guys. Yeah, emotional 2-for-1 special. But, anyways, first off, rest in peace, Alex Trebek. Man, I woke up to that news and I was like, it was one of my friends. She shared it on Instagram, and I'm telling you, man, I was really hoping that he pulled through. Alex Trebek. So for those that don't know, I have been watching Jeopardy since I was a kid. It was funny because I remember there was one day me and my mom, we randomly just watched Jeopardy. Like, I can't remember, like, why we had watched it, but we just randomly had turned to the channel, Como 4, Channel 4. Well, I don't know what other channels, like, it comes on, like Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. But anyways, we started watching Jeopardy, and we seen like all these like hard questions these guys like get asked and stuff, or the answers, and then they gotta like answer it with the question. Jeopardy has some of the most like weirdest rules. I was like, I still to this day I'm like trying to figure that show out. But anyways, but they Alex Trebek, him being a host and stuff, like I've been watching it all since like back maybe when I was 10 or 11. I can't remember exactly when I started watching that show, but Alex Trebek was there, and I'm like, it's messed up. Like you don't really like think of these guys like passing on and stuff. Like you always think like, oh yeah, Jeopardy's gonna be on forever. Alex Trebek's gonna be the host of that show forever, but then some sad stuff happens. I'm like, man, that's messed up. I guess I didn't even watch today. Well, no, it didn't even come on today. Today is Sunday, so I'm like, yeah, it didn't even come on today. But I guess, yeah, I'm gonna see what they do tomorrow for Monday, because I'm like, man, that's messed up. That's really, really messed up that he passed away. But it's if he had a tough situation, like I could say, my grandfather, he had cancer. And, because of his age, it didn't really look too well for him. So it was, yeah, even for my grandfather, it was a pretty sucky situation. And, I feel for his family. I hope everybody in Alex Trebek's family is, doing okay. I know they say he was surrounded by loved ones, so I hope they're all holding up. It was, but like, I'm not even trying to like, say something like, oh, suck it up and be a soldier type stuff. Like, no, if you guys need to like, be a little down and out for a while, because this is somebody that you were very close to, take as much time as you need. This even, I feel like that in a situation, yeah, if it's a death, like, they ain't no suck it up, be a soldier type situation. Like, I don't care for, like, anybody, it could be even Trump, his family. I'm like, nah, there can't be no suck it up and be a soldier situation. As much as people want to say that they hate Trump, this, that, you gotta show respect to the dead. And so, but I don't know, like, I'm making it seem like Alex Trebek had like a controversial life and things. He didn't, but I'm just saying, like, like if his family, they need to just take a little time. It's perfectly fine. We all need times. I thought I was going to need some time when my grandfather had passed away, because it was back-to-back deaths, from that time frame of November 2016 to like maybe March or April of 2017, because my grandfather had passed away in November. Then in December, my a childhood friend of mine, he was killed. And then my grandfather on my mom's side of the family, he died. I think it was either March or April. So yeah, it was pretty bad few months. But I didn't know where I was gonna be at mentally. It was just one of those things where it's like, you don't really know what's gonna happen, like until like the time like progresses on and stuff, and then you're like, oh, okay, so I'm doing good. But I ain't gonna say that I'm like, everybody needs to be like me. Like I was saying, if you need to take time, take time. There ain't no problem with that. But anyways, I know that's what people were asking, like what's gonna happen with the show. But he said, like, I was reading it somewhere, he said he wanted like the show to end like perfectly, so he could have like a final message to say to his viewers. Because Jeopardy, even though that might have been like the network show, Alex Trebek owned that show. He owned that show. I don't care what anybody says, that show was his. So that's, I'm like, look, whoever takes over, it ain't gonna be the same. Like, I think they did say that they were gonna have it where it was one of the contestants that, like, I think it was the guy that like won the most money or was on the most days or some stuff like that. So if they do that, that's cool. I ain't gonna like downplay like whoever else hosts the show, but it's just, I think Alex Trebek, he's going to just forever be like a legend. I feel like they somehow need to acknowledge him. Like, they need to come out with like a banner or a logo, but it's like him, and then it's like Jeopardy is underneath. Like, I think there should be some sort of way to honor him like every episode from here on out, and just do that and things. Because I'm like, yeah, it's like, y'all don't honor him, it ain't gonna be Jeopardy no more. It's just gonna be another show on TV. So, but yeah, they gotta find out a way to honor him, because that man, he was a legend. He was a legend. So, man, but I'm telling you, that show, that was Jeopardy is definitely one that, if you don't know what that show is, so pretty much they will hit you with like, so they will read off the answer, but you have to ask the question, but it has to be the answer for that answer. It's such a weird thing to explain it, but honestly, that's the best way I can explain it. So, for an example, they will say, this president was born in 90 or something, and then you have to press the buzzer and be like, what is whoever that president is? And so, yeah, it was, and there's, I'm telling you, that, like, that, that, like, I don't know what to, like, really call it, but that happiness, I guess, like, happiness, but it's, like, also, it felt like it's, like, me bragging in a way. Like, that happiness, it's like a brag happiness, because when I answer one of the answers with the question, or I say the answer for the whatever they want to call it, when I say the answer, oh man, I feel like a genius. But in reality, I'm like, yeah, I probably, if I went on that show with any host on there, Alex Trebek or anybody else, I'm like, they probably would have looked at me like something. They was just like, are you sure you wanted to try out for Jeopardy? Like, did you mess up and you meant to try out for Wheel of Fortune? Because that comes on before. Like, that's the more easier show. I'm like, I just, I tried. So please don't be mad at me. But anyways, yeah, rest in peace, Alex Trebek. I felt like I had to pay my respects, to somebody I grew up watching and things. But yeah, it was funny. I was like, I remember me and my mom, we started watching them. And then at that point, we just became like a fan. We definitely had watched. It was when this last guy was on there, because they had this one dude on there. I could have sworn that he was a robot. I follow him on Twitter. I followed him on Twitter because I'm like, that man's a robot. He's answering them questions like there ain't no tomorrow. I'm like, what's up with that guy? Like, what's he? Like, I'm saying, man, them people on that show are smart. Like, shout out to the people that's been on Jeopardy. I'm like, y'all, you guys got enough, guts than me, because I go on that show, y'all gonna get a classic comedy episode on Jeopardy. But anyways, but yeah, then that's what I did on my Instagram. I shared a video, because they had announced that Alex had cancer a while ago. And one of the contestants that was on the show, because he's still carrying on with the show. He was still doing episodes. And it's crazy because it wasn't even too long ago when I started thinking to myself, like, I wonder how he's holding up. I wonder how he's doing. And then all of a sudden this happens. I'm like, man, that is some crazy stuff. But anyways, but yeah, there was a contestant that was on the show. And so at the end of the show, they have it where there's like one final like answer slash question. And they get like amount of time to like answer it and things, or to say what they want to say. But they and if they get it, then they win the game. But if they don't, but it's like it adds up to the money that they earn throughout the game. So yes, you're earning money throughout the game. And then you get to like bid. So let's say if it's like another like crazy like 1700 type stuff, and you like bid either all your money or some of your money. I seen people bid like $1 on there because they all like nah. I'm like, I don't know that subject, I don't know that history and all that stuff. So but anyways, so there was a guy all the way to the like got all the way at the end of the episode. And I don't even know if he knew the answer or not. Like, if he knew the answer, that man just really wanted to just tell Alex, like, like, hey, I love and care about you, bro. But that's what he did. Like, he, risked all his money. Like, he ended. I don't know. I didn't even bother to see like the other people's scores or how much money they earned. So if he was going to win, like, he ruined his chances of winning by telling Alex, like, hey, I love you or something. He says like some like emotional message, and it got to Alex. Like, Alex, he kind of reacted to it, and I'm like, man, it's funny when like Alex, when he like would say things about like the contestants or do things, something comedy. But that was like the first time I have to say I've ever seen like an emotional side from him. So I'm like, man, that probably had to have been like that throughout the whole, like, it was like that for everybody that watched that show. I'm like, I can't even think of a time like where he had been emotional, whether it was an old episode or a new episode. So yeah, I was like, that was pretty sad. But it was still like a heartwarming video. I seen it today, and it was because it was being shared around. I was just like, man, that's messed up. But it was it's just a messed up situation. It's one of those things. I'm like, man, it's some news. It's like, dang, sad. It's really sad. They were talking about him pretty much. I seen his name trending on Twitter, of course, all day. They were talking about him during the Seahawks game. What else? Yeah, they were talking about him. I was like, man, this messed up. But rest in peace, Alex Trebek. So you're forever going to be known as a TV legend. Like, there ain't gonna be nobody arguing with that. If there is gonna be a person arguing with that, then they just a hater. I'm like, I believe that you are a TV legend. So, anyways, and then the next thing that I wanted to talk about was this King Von situation. So, another tragic death that took place pretty much past few days. It's crazy. Like, King Von died. President, or Joe Biden gets elected as president, and then the next day Alex Trebek dies. I'm like, man, some crazy stuff. There's some very, very crazy stuff. But anyways, but so for those that don't know, there's this rapper named King Von. A few days ago, he was tragically shot and killed because of a fight that he got into, and then it's, I don't really recommend people going out and trying to see the video, but, TMZ, I'm telling you, I don't know how they post that stuff and then they just get away with it. But, viewer discretion is advised. If you guys don't really want to hear what I'm going to be saying or talking about, then, yeah, it's, I don't blame you. But anyways, I seen the video, and it's one of those things where it's, I've seen so many different types of death videos, and it doesn't really faze me, seeing death videos. But he didn't die like in the video. But you do see when he gets shot and he falls down to the ground, and his friends are trying to help him. And it was just, it was messed up. I'm like, man, this is somebody that just, this didn't need to happen. Like, all this whole situation, it did not need to happen. This man would have still been alive today. If people just, like, stop with this, like, oh, I feel like I gotta shoot, or, get violent and start up fights and all this other stuff. Like, look, I don't care what a person said or did to you to make you upset. Leave that situation. If you know it's going to lead down to somebody getting killed, leave the situation alone. Leave the situation alone. I ain't trying to hear no arguments. I ain't trying to hear like, oh, what if they said this? What if they said? I don't care what they say. If they are putting your life in danger, then of course defend yourself. But if they're just saying some stuff like, no, let that stuff go, man. Like there's no reason to be carrying on like that. If they put your life in danger, you gotta defend yourself at all costs. But if they ain't doing anything to you, I'm like, they just saying stuff. You gotta go, leave. They're like, there ain't no reason to be fighting, arguing, and all that other stuff. I'm like, man, people say some things to me. I'm like, all right, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. I don't care. Like, I'm moving. I'm just living life at this point. I could care less how you feel right now. So, but anyways, but he didn't die in the video. He ended up, I think, dying at the hospital because they tried. I think they were trying to do surgery to him, but he was shot. Like in the video, you can see where he was shot at, and it was like in his lower back, and it looked like it was a vital area. Like yeah, because I would imagine anything your lower back, like kidneys. It was like I don't know, maybe it was that or what, but it's like it did look pretty bad. Like it looked pretty bad in the video. So I once again don't recommend y'all go out and watch the video, because it's like pretty much the video is just him, fighting, then getting shot, then his friend struggling to pick him up, and yeah, it's messed up. But I guess that's so his girlfriend, she's also a rapper. Her name is Asian the Brat or Asian Doll. I don't know. But I did want to take the time to just, most likely she ain't going to hear this. But, I just overall wanted to say, like, hey, it's messed up what happened, but keep your head up. Like, I understand this is a sucky situation. Like I was saying for Alex Trebek, however long it's going to take you to grieve, like, take as long as you need to. Ain't nobody stopping you, and if anybody tells her like, oh, you need to soldier up and things and let it go, this ain't when you deal with the death, you can't just let it go. So I ain't trying to hear that. So if anybody is speaking like that or cracking jokes or whatever, I'm like, right now, not the time. And any other point in time of your life, it ain't gonna be the time either. So people need to chill on that. But anyways, but I guess she came out and said that King Von's last words was like him getting mad at his friends for not defending him, when he got shot. My thing is like, look, with all due respect to King Von, but it's like, what do you really expect from some friends that's like never been in a situation like that? They've never been shot at or shot. Like some of them might have never even gotten into a fight. And you're expecting them to take bullets now? Like, I'm saying, like, it's messed up that he got shot and killed. But, like I said, with all due respect, I'm like, yo, if somebody is shooting, like, you are obviously going to try to run away from it. I'm saying, like, that's what everybody is going to do. Especially if they ain't got no guns, if they ain't got no way to defend themselves, like, they gonna ditch the scene. They gonna leave. Now, some of his friends, they were still, in the video, you can see some of his friends are still there. Like, they helped him, got him into a car, drove him to the hospital. So it wasn't like they left him dead in the street. They did, like, take him to the hospital and things. And I'm like, that very well could have been the situation where they just was all like, we just gonna flee the scene and just leave. Whoever is laid down on the ground, they just gonna be laying there. But they took the amount of time to, get him in the car, drive him to the hospital. But, he sadly died due to his injuries. But I'm like, my thing is like, look, I'm not cut out for that. And obviously his friends ain't cut out for that type of stuff either. If they're gonna run and ditch the scene and stuff, like, that's the lifestyle, or like those are the friends that you gonna have. Like, they ain't cut out for that. So it's messed up, but at the same time, it's like, friends, that's just how a lot of people are. They're like, hey, look, if it comes to fighting, it's like, fighting is fighting, but bullets are bullets. Like, you can't compare fighting to bullets. Like, you can die from fighting, but it's more likely of you dying from a bullet. Like, you'll see like boxing, UFC, all that stuff, going down. You name one time a television show or well, movies I feel like are a bad example, but like an actual real thing where they're promoting it on TV, you shooting at a person with a gun. Like, gun ain't for play. It ain't for, like, for sport. Like, a gun is a serious thing. So you getting shot is a serious thing, and yeah, they'd probably seen was like a lot of situations. They might have seen people get shot. They might have been in a situation where they have been shot at before, and they're like, "Look, I don't want to be in that situation." So, yeah, I'm like, I don't, I could like my thing is like I can't even be mad at mad at his friends. I'm like if that's their reaction, that's their reaction. But that should be a sign like, hey, you ain't cut out for this. So you need to this whole violent, dangerous lifestyle. You need to let it go. You need to let it go. It's like cause it's like honestly, it's like you ain't cut out for it and stuff if you run away from the situation. So. But yeah, I'm like but it's like, what do you really expect from a person that's not cut out for it? So yeah, but overall, like I was saying, it's messed up that King Von died. It was one of those artists I didn't really listen to him that much. I just recently started listening to his music, sadly underneath the circumstances of him dying. But and I'm not trying to call myself like a fan of his. I ain't gonna be no fake fan, but anyways, yeah, but it's messed up that he dealt with this, and it was like he only had like a short career. It's like I think they say he's been like rapping for like 2 years. I'm like that's not long enough. I'm like that's not long enough at all. I don't care if it was like years almost over and it would have counted as 3 years. I'm like nah. He wasn't rapping for that long, so I'm like he definitely didn't deserve to die. I'm like, and to the guy that shot and killed him, I hope he does spend life. Like I know they might shorten his sentence because they're all like, oh well, you probably thought your life was in danger and that's why you started shooting. But still, I'm like, he needs more than just a few years or something. They might probably give him like 20, 30 years. I don't know, but they determine like who started the fight and stuff. But anyways, yeah. King Von didn't need to die, so. But I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for hearing me out and what I had to say. Once again, rest in peace to Alex Trebek. Rest in peace to King Von. May your souls do find peace, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.